For over a century, if you wanted to control global superpowers, one thing that you needed was oil. Wars were fought for it, empires rose and fell over it. And the Middle East became the undisputed epicenter of global strategy. But in the 21st century, the engine of human power has changed. Today, the weapons of dominance aren't just tanks and warships. They are AI, fighter jet radars, precision missiles, and millions of electric vehicles. And none of them can exist without two things: lithium and rare earth elements. Lithium and rare earth elements are the new geopolitical oil. And just like oil in the 20th century, the battle for who controls these minerals is already causing trade wars, military attacks, and resource nationalism across the globe. From military strikes and defense resource panics in the Middle East to the hidden supply chain war across Africa and South America, the scramble for critical mineral is creating a new global dynamic. What happens when the very mineral meant to power our green high-tech future become the trigger for human rights abuse, environmental destruction, and international conflict? Let's break it down. To understand why these nations are willing to risk economic warfare over these elements, we first need to understand what they exactly are. Lithium, often called white gold. It is the lightest metal on Earth, capable of storing immense energy in high density. It powers everything from your smartphone to grid-scale solar storage and EV batteries. Rare earth elements, a group of 17 metals. Contrary to their name, they aren't actually that rare in the Earth's crust. What makes them rare is that they are rarely found in high concentrated deposit, making them extremely difficult and toxic to extract and refine. Neodymium and samarium, supermagnets in EV motors, wind turbines, and radar guidance. Dysprosium, heat-resistant magnets in missile defense and jet engines. Lithium and cobalt, high-energy batteries for consumer tech and military hardware. Think about an F-35 Shield fighter. A single jet requires roughly about 920 pounds of rare earth materials. Without them, its radar won't work. The targeting system fails. Its engine overheats. The green energy transition and the modern military warfare both run on the exact same periodic table. For decades, headlines about Iran focused on nuclear enrichment and oil choke points, just like the Strait of Hormuz. But in the recent years, a new layer was added to the geopolitical chessboard. In 2023, Iran announced the discovery of a massive lithium deposit in the western province of Hamadan, estimated at 8.5 million metric ton, one of the largest single deposit in the world. Coupled with developing pilot projects for rare earth element separation, Iran signaled its intent to step onto the critical mineral stage. During recent military escalations, including widespread and air operation and missile strike between the US, Israel, and Iran, a critical attack was laid bare for Western defense planners, the sheer mineral cost of modern high-tech war. In the first 100 hours of operation against targets in the Middle East alone, military forces expended hundreds of precision-guided Tomahawk cruise missiles and missile interceptors, F-35 fighter jet, submarines, precision-guided missiles, rely heavily on rare earth magnets. This created an immediate crisis for the Western defense contractors, with military backlog swelling over $1.3 trillion. The Pentagon realized that high-tech warfare requires a massive uninterrupted supply of refined critical metals that were increasingly concentrated in non-Western supply chain. Middle East war was for a substance most people never think about: sulfur. Roughly a quarter of the world's sulfur originates from crude oil and natural gas refining in the Middle East, with a massive percentage passing through the Strait of Hormuz. When shipping lanes and regional energy assets were disrupted, global sulfur supplies plummeted. Sulfur is transformed into sulfuric acid, the chemical essential for leaching lithium, copper, nickel, and rare earths out of raw ore. When sulfuric acid prices spiked, critical mineral production costs skyrocketed overnight. It exposed a terrifying reality. The new mineral economy and the old oil economy are deeply intertwined. At the same time, major powers began using critical minerals as economic leverage. China introduced export controls over heavy rare earths and processing equipments, threatening to starve Western defense contractors and automaker factories for raw inputs. In response, the Western government realized their defense industrial bases, from replacing depleted munition stock to building advanced radar, were dangerously exposed. So who holds the keys to the new global economy? The answer might surprise you. When it comes to raw extraction in the ground, the resources are distributed worldwide. Australia leads in hard rock lithium mining, while the Lithium Triangle in South America holds over half of the world's reserves. Rare earths exist in significant amount in the US, Australia, Vietnam, and Myanmar. But mining is only the 20% of the story. The real power lies in processing and refining. While the West spent decades outsourcing the heavy dirty industries, Beijing spent 30 years building a complete refining monopoly. Middle East has oil, China has rare earths. Beijing didn't invest inside its own borders. Through the Belt and Road Initiative and strategic investment, Chinese state-backed companies acquired lithium mines in South America and Australia, and Cobalt operation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. When the US mines rare earth ore at Mountain Pass in California today, much of the raw ore historically had to be shipped across the Pacific to China just to be processed into usable magnet and alloy. That is a massive strategic choke point. While the politicians and the tech CEOs frame the rush around green energy and national defense, but the human reality on the ground is totally different. Just like the 20th century, the oil economy led to corporate exploitation, political coups, and local corruption. This critical mineral rush is reproducing the exact same human tragedy. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, which produces over 70% of the world's cobalt, tens of thousands of artisanal miners, including young children, work in unsafe hand-dug pits without protective gears to supply global battery supply chain. From South America's high-altitude, indigenous lands to rural communities in Africa and Asia, local population are frequently displaced as vast stretches of land are designated for open-pit extraction. In regions near rare earth refineries, toxic chemical leaching and heavy metal combination lead to severe groundwater pollution, elevated cancer rates, and destruction of arable farmland. When vast fortunes can be extracted from a single valley, local democracy often takes a backseat. Armed militias, corrupt state authorities, and private security cartels increasingly clash for the control of critical mineral transit route. Producing 1 ton of lithium through traditional evaporation brine method requires approximately 500,000 gallons of water. In places like Chile, at Kama Desert, this depletes local aquifers, depriving indigenous farming communities of vital water resources. Refining rare earth generates thousands of tons of toxic waste, liquids containing dangerous heavy metals and low-level radioactive thorium. Unlined tailing dams risk bursting or leaking into river systems. Mining, crushing, smelting, and shipping millions of tons of ore across global supply chain creates massive initial carbon emission. An electric car leaves the factory floor with a significantly higher carbon footprint than a gas car. It takes 20,000 to 60,000 miles for driving before its overall emission balance becomes truly net positive. The green transition is an inherently zero impact. It is trade-off. We are trading atmospheric carbon emission for land degradation, heavy metal toxicity, and intense mineral extraction. So how is the world responding to this high-tech dilemma? We are witnessing the beginning of the largest supply chain overhaul in the modern history. Governments outside China have committed tens of billions of dollars to build Norwegian refining capacity. Countries like Australia, Canada, and the US are fast-tracking domestic mines and processing plants. Meanwhile, battery manufacturers are racing to develop chemistries that don't rely on scarce minerals. They are trying to invent sodium batteries, which use abundant salt instead of lithium for low-cost energy storage. The 20th century taught us that dependent access to oil leads to conflict, economic coercion, and geopolitical wars. As we march deep into the 21st century, we aren't escaping resource politics. We are simply changing the minerals on the chessboard. The nation that controls the refining, technology, and recycling of lithium and rare earths will hold the power to shape the future of energy, military defense, and artificial intelligence. But the question is, can humanity build a cleaner, high-tech future without repeating the violent, extractive mistake of the oil era? What do you think? Will the technology allow us to recycle and innovate our way out of this mineral monopoly? Or are we heading towards a new era of resource war? Let me know in your comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.